Hi, today I would like to speak to you about setting up, excuse me, about setting up a property maintenance business. Um, a short while ago, I had a client who wanted to start a property maintenance, and we've had few sessions together, setting out the plan and the steps that he needed to take in order to secure his business, but at the same time, when switching from the employee for another company and becoming full-time business owner himself, we needed to create a plan for him to sustain the cash flow. So a part of our plan was to create an income which will then become a 3 month financial backup in the business account. So the 3 months leeway would be there, and the client would not have the worry of not knowing where the money will come from, and he will sustain his current level of lifestyle. So we created that plan, which took us 3 months to complete. And after 3 months, he has started to be full time in his business, which now is a very, very busy business. And the next stage for this client is to think of employing members of staff who will help him to grow the business. So, what we need to think about getting the business started? Well, first of all, uh, we need to think, is property maintenance our passion? Is it something that we know about the things that need to be done? So, for instance, are you a versatile person who knows about plumbing, who knows about joinery, who knows about um, ironmongery, for instance, how to change a lock on the door or how to change a light bulb, or small electrical stuff like changing the light bulb, or maybe changing the uh, uh, power reducer which goes for spotlights, or how to upgrade it to the LED lighting, and so on and so on. Do you have the skills? That is very important, and because in the business, really, it would be good that if you don't do the work yourself, if you already have enough money at the starting point of the business, if you have already enough money to employ somebody who knows what they're doing, then that's good for you. But my point here today is speaking to people who starting the business from scratch. So they don't have the cash flow, they don't have any lump sum. And my suggestion is that if you start a business, do all the best to start a business without borrowing money, because it's always better to build the business up rather than start from a big red uh, bulb in the bank account minus, say, 5, 10, 20,000 pounds. It takes a long time to recover that sort of money and obviously repay. Particularly if you're starting from absolute cold and you don't have the customer base. In the example I gave you, the client was already doing some odd jobs part time whenever he had the chance and whenever he had the time to do it. So I would suggest to stick to that situation. Obviously, if you have people who will invest in your business, that's a different story. But let's just stick to the basics of having to start from absolute cold. So it's better that you do have the skills. So you could be maybe a person who does DIY jobs and want to and is passionate about it and wants to turn that passion into a income creating a business. And this is the basics that I am talking about here. So going back to that example, we were discussing with this client about the status of the business that he wants to create. And why the status of the business is because we need to know at the beginning what are our plans, how far we want to take that business. Are we just going to be a single-handed company where we do just the small jobs here and there to maybe private clients, or maybe one estate agent or landlord? Or are we looking to start small and then grow the business into a multi employee company, or maybe even a nationwide franchise that will bring the business really lots of customers and turnover? So we need to think of that at the beginning, which means that really the ideal situation is to start the planning at the result and then work your way backwards. That's so important because we need to know where we're going. Without knowing where we want to go, what can we do? So the planning stage is very important. That means the status of the business. We need to find ourselves an accountant. We need to market our business. And in the marketing side, it is very helpful if we have already got customers that we are serving now, or maybe we have served in the past, and we can rely on that work and then ask them to refer us if they are happy with our work. So again, going back to my client, my suggestion was during our planning stage that within the 3 months from the moment that we were discussing it to the moment that he wants to start his own business, he need to find at least one estate agent to offer his services to. That would create for him a steady flow of income and orders. And because in the past I worked with estate agents, I know that estate agents and landlords are very good source of income and turnover, particularly if as a maintenance business you offer 24-hour call out service. If you are doing your work at a speed but at the same time you do a good work, because standard is very important, if you can maintain that relation with an estate agent or a landlord or a property management company, that is the beginning of a good steady flow. Because when you start building up your reputation, it will help you in the future. And estate agents are the type of clients who do have a wide scope of not only connections that would refer you to other clients, but also the clients that they service through the letting and property management will be able to employ you directly in other areas which are not really connected with the estate agent that you are with. And this is what happened with me when I was running property maintenance business. So that's very important. The relationship that we're building are very important. The next thing is to decide on the services that you're going to offer. So is it going to be multitude of services in the maintenance, which will include maybe gas safety work, maybe electrical certification, maybe PAT testing, maybe just simply ordinary plumbing, or maybe it would include painting jobs, floor fitting, main decoration or refurbishment of the property. You need to decide that straight off, because when you create your offer to an estate agent or landlord, they would like to know that up front. Then the next stage is obviously your charges. It is very important to take into account your likely overheads. So this would need to be really calculated with the help of accountant if you have one. If you don't have one, I would suggest that you take an accountant as a counsel to help you to do the prices. And I always suggest that in order to get a good accountant that will really benefit your business, is to interview at least 3 accountants and asking them what they can offer to your business in order to support it. Because remember that financial guys, so accountant or your own financial officer, they are the most important people that help your business to grow. And when you maintain a good communication and good rapport with them, they will really help you to get your business not just off the ground, but to get your business to the next level and the next level and the next level. It is very, very important, and I could not stress that enough. How important is an accountant in your business, and a good accountant that is very much underlined. I believe me, I've met some accountants which really don't deserve to have customers in some cases. So do think of it in that way. Accountant is an integral part of your business, and you need to have a good one that will help your business to do. The next stage is obviously the tools. The tools of the trade. You will need to have some basic cash flow for initial material, which, you know, £500 is not that big money, and it can really start you going with the first clients. The other thing which is important is a vehicle. If you can have a small van or an estate vehicle and put a signage on it, just a basic one, it will help you to market your business, and with your telephone number readily available, people will be able to call you. The next stage is to plan your website, how you would like to generate your customers. Are you going to sign up to other websites which offer handyman services or maintenance services, or would you prefer to have a website that will work for you and will generate the leads for you? So again, you need to speak to several website developers who will be able to offer you the services that you really need, which obviously is not just website that will be sitting on the internet, it's a website that will generate your leads. The next stage obviously is setting up the company. So I always suggest that in certain areas of business, a limited company would be the key to start with. Why? It's because of the protection. Your risk obviously is much higher when you are self-employed, and is lower when you are a limited company. That's again something that accountant would advise you on the beginning stages. Vehicles, we mentioned. The tools, make sure that you invest in the tools which are not cheap, but they are average price and they will perform you for some times. You also need to ensure that those tools are the right tools for the job, so that will not just make your job easier, but it will be safer, because health and safety is very important, and you need to have that in mind. When you start employing staff, there are different points that you need to remember. As you probably are aware, now we have a compulsory pension scheme, so you have to prepare for that. You've got to implement certain areas of health and safety. You then have to deal with human resources, planning, etc., etc. And for that, you can either hire an outside advisors such as health and safety executives or human resources advisors. There are people that can help you, and you don't have to really employ them directly, but for a monthly fee you are able to have the advice that you might need. The other very important aspect of starting your business is to ensure that you have a proper insurance cover. And for that, I would also suggest to do a research. Don't just go into your bank and say, I need a business insurance, because you may not be insured for everything. So do go to a specialist, a commercial insurance broker, and ensure that you have an indemnity cover and you have a business insurance. And if you have a limited company, I would also advise to have a director's insurance, which will cover you for any eventualities. So let's think of setting it up. We've got that done. You are ready to set up. You've got your first customer. Make sure that you do the job the way you say you do it. The better you do the job, the quicker you do it, and if you do it at the right price, you will have very, very busy time, and very quickly you will have a bigger customer base. You will then very quickly need to employ somebody to help you run that business. Why is that? It is that honesty, integrity is absolutely the standard that will take you to places. If you are going to shortcut your activities and you're going to be dishonest with your customers, then that is not going to take you far. So openness and honesty is absolute basic. Make sure that every single day you write down exactly what you have done, who to, how much time you spent on it. Make sure you have your contact details of the client, and then whenever you get the chance, if it is the same day, that's fantastic. But as soon as you finish the job, it would be good to raise the invoice and send it off to the client for payment. With individuals, obviously, you can take payments with cash, or you can purchase. These days, there is lots of availabilities where you can actually take a card payment using your mobile phone. So the payment scheme is quite easy, and you can make arrangements for anything that you like. However, what I would suggest is that you keep record of everything, so that way you know exactly where your business is going. Right at the beginning, I would also suggest to create yourself a cash flow based on the current customer base, with the inclusion of between 1 and 5 customers every month coming to your business. And that way you will be able to really have the true picture of where your business is going, and you can then plan for the future, because it is very important that you concentrate on the current issues, but at the same time it is most important that you plan for the future, so you know exactly where you want to take your business and where your business is going. And having the records and having the information at hand, you will be able to take a decision there and then, and instead of basically having the papers flying around and months later where you don't remember what happened at certain job, you will be sitting down and then scratching your head thinking, oh my god, I forgot what this have been about, and I didn't know what I did. And or if there is a situation where you have to go back to the job, you know exactly what was done, and you can always refer to that with the discussion when you discuss it with the client. So taking notes is very important, and when you meet the client, you know exactly where you stand, so you don't have to be guessing. You've got the information, so you can reassured. You can be reassured, and you can actually talk about it without having to think and maybe making things up. The next aspect of your business is the structure, which really need to be thought of at the beginning as well. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, is that business going to be just a small business where you run it by yourself, or is it something that you plan to expand? So according to that plan that you have, you create the structure of your business. And the next aspect is the marketing. How are you going to market? Where are you going to get your clients from? How much money are you planning to spend on marketing your business? Is it something that you can do by referral? Is it something that you might be able to market through face-to-face networking? Is it social media that you're going to be using? All these aspects are very important. And my suggestion is, if you are looking at local newspapers or local magazines or local advertising pamphlets, you really need to research that in order to be able to be reassured that your investment in that marketing is really worth your while, or maybe you can use that money for a different type of advertising. So do research before you actually make a decision, and then once you have the information, then carry out the action that is needed. And final point that I like to raise is that you really, at the beginning, it would be good if you could ask for or research for and employ a coach or a mentor, someone that has already done it, someone that has been there, and someone who has the knowledge for you to grow your business. Obviously, all this depends solely on where you want to take your business, because if your ambitions are very small, you probably be okay or just okay doing it on your own. But if your ambitions are big and you want to really create something out of that business, and this can be really, really lucrative part of the business, do make sure that you research the market properly. Make sure that you create a unique point of sale which will catch the attention of your potential client, and do your work well with real feeling for it, so your business will really grow. If you are going just to do it because you want to do it without any heart put into it, then probably it will be advisable to think of something else, something that you are passionate about, something that you really love to do, because having a maintenance business is not an easy thing to do. Sometimes it can be quite troublesome, sometimes it's smooth, but anything that you do need to have your feeling, positive feeling in it. So the more you like what you do, the better your business will be. I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you have any questions, there will be my email below this video. Please do contact me, and I can then contact you back and help you more. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one.